What's up, guys? Welcome back to World of the Two Comic Club. Justin here, and doing another 2-day recap again for you, and it should be pretty quick this time. There weren't a lot of articles from the second day, so we'll try to keep this short just so you can see how the balances we're doing and some of the positions I was in a little while ago, and I'll talk about what happened with those, just kind of keep you up to date with stuff. But anyways, let's just get into it. We're in July 19th and 20th, Thursday, Friday. The Dow did not too well. On Thursday, went down 134 points, but we did have some gainers: Apple, Nvidia, Take-Two, Home Depot. Let's go right into the winners. We have Apple. We have some Apple calls here that went up. Actually, just one position, 6 calls that went up $576. We did lose. You can see on the screen we lost about $6,000 that day. So not a lot of good gainers here. Even that Sprint and Riot, you see those percentages are big, but they're still not that good. And then our Best Buy call did go up 15%, so that was pretty decent. But our losers, we can see we had a lot of them. And Amazon, we did make money on them, prior couple days, but like this day was bad. And then we had Domino's Pizza, so you can see if you want to pause it. Alcoa did pretty bad too. You can pause and see what the other positions are. We're just going to go straight into the second day. So we have the Dow started off bad, then it got good, and then it went bad again. So not great, but I didn't get a screenshot of this screenshot until I didn't get one. So I just took a screenshot of this part, but you can see how the Dow did finish down like pretty much nothing. So it was a really calm day, which I was actually glad about. However, some of our positions did do bad, which caused us to lose some money. So you can see we did lose about $5,500. So not great. But we had our gainers. We had Align Technology, Home Depot. Our Spider puts went up, and our QQQ puts went up because the stocks went down, so our puts made money. So I kind of had those as protection, which helped offset losses a little bit, just not that much. And then you can see our long list of losers here. Nothing in the triple or the quadruple digits, but we did have a lot of pretty decent ones. So our Weight Watchers call, this is a call I did get out of this position relatively shortly after this, I believe, because their stock, if you're paying attention right now, Weight Watchers stock is doing very bad. They're right around like $50, so they're not doing really well right now. But okay, so that covers that, and let's get into the articles. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read. I kind of wrote a little script here, basically some notes. I'm going to try just to read off of it so that I don't blabber and go off tangents. And hopefully it'll keep this video, relatively short. So for July 19th, I didn't do any trades today, by the way, on that day. Didn't do any trades on the 20th either. Trump did criticize the Fed, saying he was not thrilled about them raising rates, but you guys probably knew that. And then the Dow did end its 5-day win streak. They did have a 5-day winning streak coming up to this day, which I forgot about. But this one article, slowly but surely, smart speaker adoption continues to rise. That's a pretty interesting article. I'm not going to talk about it, but I will link to it in the description. But I mean, the headline pretty much summarizes it. So if you forgot about the smart speaker space with all the new phone news that's been coming out, something to think about. The smart speakers are still doing well. This next article, first to 1 trillion, Amazon or Apple, no brainer, the people have spoken. This is kind of a funny article because there was like a Twitter poll. There was like 4,200 people that voted, and like 65% of them voted that Amazon would be the first one to 1 trillion, and they were obviously wrong. Apple did hit 1 trillion first. I think Amazon did eventually hit 1 trillion, but then they both kind of fell down. So neither of them, right currently as of November 5th, none of them are at 1 trillion right now. This next article I'm going to link to because it's kind of long and it's kind of boring unless you're really, really like invested in Google. But it's Google takes EU ruling in stride. It was about that fine they had, and kind of talked about some implications on their monopoly and what they've been like, what kind of practices they've been doing and blocking out competitors. But it's kind of detailed, so I'm just going to link to it in the description. Anyways, this next one was interesting because it was Apple leads 5 stocks setting up breakouts from this bullish base. Now, this is one of those chart technical analysis articles, which up until this year I've pretty much ignored, and I haven't been really good at keeping up with them now, but I did want to point it out because of the 5 stocks that they did show, 4 of them did end up going up afterwards. And so again, sometimes it's good to pay attention to the chart patterns because there are certain patterns that are relatively good at predicting, a rise in the stock price. So I will link to that one. If you're new to charts and stuff like that, there are some links you can click to, and you can look up definitions and how they work. One of the best chart patterns though is the cup and handle chart pattern. So like that's the one that you should really pay attention to. But this double base one that they're talking about is also, I guess, pretty good. Anyways, chip stock investors find a bit of cheer. So I'll link to that once about Micron and how they did well at their earnings. But anyways, old news. But this, I got 4 more left, so we're almost done. Tesla shares fall after Needham downgrades to sell, citing possible increase in Model 3 cancellations. The spokesperson from Tesla said that, the notion that the Model 3 cancellations are outpacing orders is unequivocally wrong. And Needham said that with the base model not available till mid-2019, consumers could wait until 2020 for their cars, and that's why they were kind of downgrading it. But obviously, since then, Apple has ramped up the production. They've been doing very well with that. And now, if you order a Tesla, like a Model 3, unless you're getting like the lowest price model, you're only waiting like a month at tops for your car. So it's really, they've gotten really good at the delivery time. You're no longer having to wait a year or anything like that, and that's really awesome. So today's research reports on stocks to watch: Counterpath and Take-Two Interactive. So this one talks about, I didn't read the one about Counterpath because I'm not really interested in that company, but with Take-Two I am invested in. Their stock rose after hours at this point in time because a lady, Samantha Greenberg, she's the chief investment officer at Margate Capital. She said that there's a 40% upside potential and that their content pipeline is the largest in the company's history. I thought that was really, really big. And also that they're expecting streaming of games to become a commercial reality in a few years. And I don't know if you guys heard, but Google is working on that, having like a platform where you can stream games and play that. So like console games. And so I think that's going to be a really big opportunity and something to keep an eye out, especially if you're investing in the video game space. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, lastly, with this day, we have video game industry is booming with continued revenue. I'm going to link in the description again, but a couple nuggets from this one. According to Newzoo's Global Games Market Report, gamers will likely spend, get this, $138 billion this year, which is a 13.3% increase year over year, or an extra $16.2 billion. That's just an absurd amount of money, and it just kind of shows you how big of a space gaming is. If you're not invested in the gaming space and you have some extra cash, maybe worth looking at to diversify. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do diversify. I have some money in esports, and I think it's been doing pretty well for me over the last couple of years. So I'll have to check on that just to confirm. But the article also says that esports tournaments prizes are getting bigger and bigger each time. And there's a PUBG tournament in Germany where I believe first place prize was $2 million, which was the largest in the tournament's history. That is just an absurd amount of money to give away for first prize to play video games. I mean, it's crazy. Even golf tournaments don't really have that much. So I usually like 1 million is the biggest prize for first place. So, and that's like professional golf and like, a big established industry. But it just kind of shows you esports is getting really big. It's a very serious thing, something to keep an eye on. Okay, and then for July 20th, there was really no good articles. They were all a bunch of crap. I didn't really like any of them. So the only thing I'll talk about for this day is, Trump was talking to, stoking the trade war tariff stuff, so people were freaking out. But this one video that I liked was called Fami's Second Half Preview. I'll link in the description for this. It's a video. But it's kind of cool because, this was in July, but his prediction is still about the end of this year. So we still can like look at it and see if he's going to be right or not. But he said, his name's Joe Fami of Zor Capital. He says that 2017 was a big year. And just like, he kind of made a summary of eating like a big Thanksgiving meal. Like when you eat a big meal, you kind of sit for a while and digest. He was kind of relating 2018 to that digesting period where like the market ran up a huge amount in 2017. And now we're kind of just sitting on it and just, kind of letting it go flat for a while. But he predicts that after that, the stocks could go up again. And he said it did kind of happen in 1995 and 2003, where we had really good years, then kind of flat the next year, and then a good year following that. So if that's true, I'm going to be really happy because, I'm really hoping 2019 will be a solid year. Because I really want to kind of keep my aggressive strategy for another year, and then I'm going to really tone it down. But hopefully they're right. Hopefully we got one more good year left in us, and we can make some more money. So with that said, I hope you guys like this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, check out my Patreon, please, if you want to talk to me personally and chat to me about stocks, or if you have questions on how to set up accounts, or just want to talk to me about anything about stocks related. I have a private Discord that I did set up, and you can get one-on-one access to me, and we, the people in the group will talk. We talk about different companies and share, tips and stuff, like pieces of news that we find. And I think it's good to have, that kind of chat. Just kind of keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the market. So I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Hope you have a good night, and we will see you in the next one.